Welcome everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. This is for those of you stumbling on this live stream or watching this. Sorry, I was having audio coming in both directions. This is the live stream for the Advanced Dungeons and Dynamics 365 Bare Bones Configuration series. And what we've been doing in this entire process is setting up Dynamics from the base up. So we're not starting with any pre-configured information. We're going out and we're setting all of this up really from nothing, and which is fun, and also gives you of what's required to set things up and also what's not required. So we're working through the bare bones, just the what's necessary for the setup. So that's what we're working through, and this is the 25th episode. We're rock and rolling, so we're a quarter of a century in. And today what we're going to do is we're going to look at customers, and we're going to set up some customers. We're going to spend some time on the customers working through this and have some fun with it and start doing some more Dungeon and Dragon themed setup, and also look at some other configurations that we've got here as well. So what we're going to do is, let's move over to the demo. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using this lab environment, the same lab environment we've been using for all of these episodes. And we're going to be setting up the customers because we already have the main information set up. And to give you a little bit of an idea, then what we're using is we're going out and we're actually walking through the training guides that we've created, that we've had for, and we're sort of testing them. We're seeing how they work, and I'm sort of doing my own testing to see where there are mistakes and things so that we can improve them. But along the way, we're going to see what's required with this. And we're at the step of creating customer accounts. So if we go back and if we look at what we've done up until now is we've gone through, let's move through, in the previous live stream, what we did is we started setting up customer groups, and we started using some of the payment terms that we'd set up in the early area, and we set up some customer groups along the way. And now we're moving through to this customer creation. And so without further ado, let's go out and look at that and create some customers that we can work with. So we can, from Dynamics, what we're going to do is we can access the customer maintenance in a number of different ways. So I could look for all customers in the menu search, my favorite way of accessing things. And we can see that we can actually access customers from a number of different places. We can access it from AR, we can access it from sales and marketing, retail and commerce, and even credit and collections. All of these will take us to the same place. So it's not, we don't want to choose, we can choose either of those, but we'll use the accounts receivable. And if we go out to the menu item and look here, then we've actually got all customers here within the view. So when we look at vendors, it'll be similar. There'll be all vendors within the accounts payable section. And let's see, and let's have a look at the, and what I'm doing is I'm going out and I'm looking at also some of the workspaces. And we can, from the customer payments, no, we can't create a customer, but we can actually access the customers here from one of the tiles. And if we go back to the main menu, then I don't think that there's a customer. There isn't a dedicated maintenance workspace, although, again, some of these items, some of these workspaces will have the ability to access all of the customers as well. So, for example, here within credit and collections, we've got the new customer option here. But what I want to do is I want to go to the all customers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let me find my screen. We're in the customer maintenance screen. We don't have any customers right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to create some customers. Now, when we go out and create customers, we can create customers as people or as organizations. The main difference is that when you create it as a person, then you'll have personal information that you maintain for a contact. When you set it up as a company, then you're going to have organizational names like the legal entity rather than the person name, and people will be associated with that. And so we're going to go out and look at, let's quickly look at the documentation. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a first customer. And so if we go down and look at the data that we've got here, we've got Deshura Al Abherk. So I think that's how you say it. And what we've got is we've got a customer account here, and then a type of person, and then the full name, and then an address. But we're going to go out and research her a little bit more and see if we can find some information as we go out and set this up. And also what we're doing within the documentation, we're using numbering sequence for the customers. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go out and really use their name to go out and find them by account. And because that just makes it easier to look up people. I don't really care about a sequence system for the application. So let's go back and let's create a new customer. Remember, everything that we've done up until this is building up to the creation of this data. And when we start creating a customer, then it's going to ask us a couple of things. But we're not going to work through this in this order. We're going to work through it a slightly different way. So we've got our customer account here. And what we can do is we can choose, we'll start off by saying, is this a person or is this an organization? The reason why I do that is because if we type in a customer account and then change this to an organization, then the customer account is going to disappear. So we don't really want to do that. We just want to save ourselves at least one click along the way. So we're going to choose a person, and let's start by putting in the first name, and then the prefix is Al. Let's see if we can do that. And also what we can do is we can, let's see if we go into the details. Actually, I haven't gone into the details for, okay, it's not letting us do that, so that's fine. So I'm going to put in the full name of our customer. And I'm going to make the customer account. It's going to be so I'm just going to use a shorter name of this customer's name as the customer account, so I can go out and find that. Again, we could use intelligent numbering, but this the customer account makes it easier when we go out and just see the customer number to go out and find this information. So we've got the name, the first name, the prefix, the last name, and then now we want to choose the group for this customer. And let's do some research on this customer and see what we can find out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show two different items. So what we've got here is, we'll see if we can find this customer. Follows Guide to Waterdeep, one of my references, and if everyone's worried about me using PDF, then here's the actual book that I've got, but you can't see me looking through that. And let's do a search and see. Let's see if I pick that from here. And so I didn't. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to use this as some reference, because what we can do is we can see we're going to create some customer along the way. And the good thing is that from here we can go out and choose something. For example, the fiery flagon, and then we'll set up this customer in the system. But also what we're going to do is I'm going to find. Let's find my ChatGPT section here, and I could tell me about. So I'm going to go back and see if I can research some of this information along the way, and we'll see if it makes up some information for us. And because what I want to do is I want to find out what the customer group is for this customer. So this is doing a little bit of searching. It's trying to find this inside of the book. Okay, so we can't find this inside of the source book. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and use my creditor information management. Come on. Let's refresh this. A profile for this. While that's working on, let's move back to here. So we'll get that to create our customer profile for us. So she's a gold, a spice and exotic goods med. Got the address here, which is going to be important. So she's on Spices Walk, and Calisham. Let's see if there's any other addresses that we've got here. So there's actually an address here in Waterdeep where we can find it. So we'll go out and use that as we go out and set up the information. So let's return back to the surface. And so this is going to be, let's see if we can find a let's mark her as a merchant. Now we don't have any delivery terms. We don't have any modes of delivery or sales groups or source codes, but we do have a terms of payment that's been assigned to this. This is based off the customer group that we configured. So we could change these payment terms if we want to make a net 15 days, or let's say to be paid on the Friday. But let's go out and just say we want all payments from her to be paid within. Now, also what we're going to do is we're going to start defining the address. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose the zip code or the postal code that's here. That's going to default in a lot of information like the city and the state within the system. So it said this is customers in Waterdeep. It's in the Sword Coast. We don't have the district is actually going to be the Dock Ward, where we're going to be working with her. And then we're going to say she is actually located on 19 Spice Lane. Now, we've also got address books here, and we could say that this she's going to be associated with a customer. She's located in Waterdeep, and that's That's all we need to do. So now you can see that we're starting to use a lot of the configurations that we've set up. Now the phone number for her is going to be Waterdeep Trading Company extensions, and the email, if I copy this, is going to be using the Faerûnian address. And we don't have faxes even in Waterdeep. We don't use faxes in the system. And we're going to then just go out and save this. So we've filled out as much information as we can here in the configuration. So now we're going to save this. And this is going to go out and create our customer account for us. So now we're seeing that we've got a lot more, and we can extend some of this out. Now we don't have any classification groups. We can have demographics that we set up. We actually don't know whether she's married or not, and we're not going to fill in any information. But also what we've got is we've got the address information. So this automatically Waterdeep location, but there is she also has other locations or other addresses that maybe we want to set up. So I'm going to add a new item here, and I'm going to add in the address for the caravan depot. Now, this is in Calumport and Calimsham, which we both set up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out and do that. So I'm going out and I went, I'll do that again. I went directly from the address details to the view details. And this is, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new zip code. And this is going to be in Faerûn. The code is going to be 06 CLM. The state is going to be Calimsham, and the city is going to be Calumport. And let's see if it allows me to do that. Okay, and and let's go. And the state is going to be Calimsham, and we aren't going to specify the district just yet, but I'm going to save that away. So now we can return for 06. Calimsham is going to be, and it's going to be the Outer Bazaar. So it's going to be on Silk Road Yard, on the Outer Bazaar. Let's close that. And the district is going to be, actually the district is going to be the Outer Bazaar. So if I go out and districts, then we don't have any specified for Calimsham. So if I go, if I say I want to create a new one here, FAE, let's back out of there. So sometimes this can be a little bit temperamental as we go out. So let me try FAE. And then the state is going to be Calimsham. City is going to be Calumport. let's go out and add that. Save that back. Let's do a search here. And then the district is going to be the bizarre. 2 A's. Let's try to save that. Okay, so that worked, and let's back out. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to force it to go back to my customer table, and we'll start doing the address again. So we're going to go back into here. Oh, we've already got the caravan depot set up, but I should be able to go out and choose that we had here and save that. So what we've got is now we've got more information set up in the system. So this is one customer that we've got set up, and also as we go through and as we look at this, then we also have contact information. Number is automatically defined, and the email address, and we can start seeing more information that's associated with this if we wanted to configure this and fill out the details. So there's a lot of information, but not a lot of information that we necessarily to configure here in the system if we don't want to. Now, there's going to be more information that we define here. For example, the method of payment that we may want to set up. We may want to say that this is going to be a coin payment, the payment specification and payment schedule and the payment day we're not going to worry about because we don't want to put on a payment plan. If we want to, we could say that you get 1% off if you pay within 30 days. So we can go out and manipulate this. Other information we haven't quite got to yet, like the delivery terms and the mode of delivery, and some later on in the system. So that was a long way to get our first customer set up in the system. But what we can now do is I'm going to return back here, and let's create one more item. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the Fiery Dragon, which is going to be a company in this case, and we're going to create a second customer based off this configuration as well. So we've got the Fiery Dragon. We've got some information associated with this. They're based in Waterdeep, which is good, so we don't have to worry about it. And we'll see some credit information showing up as well. So now that I've got that information, let's go back and create one more customer. And this time it's going to be an organization. And I'm going to use the customer account as the Fiery Dragon. And this customer group is going to be, I think, a tavern. So we've got taverns and inns here within the system. And then their zip code is going to be 01 Waterdeep. And then their address is going to be in the Trades Ward. And they're on 12 Ember Street. Their phone number is, or their magic mirror extension, it's going to be that. And then also if we want to have the email address configured here, then we can just paste that in and save it. So now notice that with the organization, we don't have personal information showing up now like we did with the first customer. So if I look at the first customer, you'll see that there's a lot more information that shows up in the details. For the Fiery Dragon, not so much. And we've got the address information here. And if we want to go out and add a new address, then they've actually got an event hall. It's a business address. What we can, with these addresses, we can also specify whether this is a delivery address as well, whether it's the head of the company or so forth. This is a real location, and we'll leave it at that. And they're in Waterdeep, and they're actually going to be on 13 Spice Lane. The research said that they were adjacent to that to the main location, which is convenient, and that's in Trade Thwart. So let's save that, and now we've got another address that's associated with it, and also we've got other retail. We've got other address information that's showing up here. So again, we can go out and we can start adding more information here. So we can say they're in Faerûn and they're on the Sword Coast for now. And if let's look at we haven't configured any chains or sales districts or segments here. So later on, we'll go out and configure these. So this is what we've done so far. Is we've gone out and we've I don't know what that must have been for the tax information. So we've got two addresses configured here that we can go out and maintain, and what we'll do is we'll show you how you can go out and import these in and get the a bulk load of customers as well, which is a little bit more involved, but that does save a lot of time when we're going out and setting up some of this information. So that finishes today's session on the configuring of the customers. There's as you can see, we can add more and more information here in the customer, and there's a lot of rich information that's available. We haven't even looked at the sub menus that are in there. We'll look at those further on as we move through the accounts receivable and also through the sales and marketing modules as well, far away in later episodes. So with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to close this off. We're going to finish off this session, and hopefully this was interesting, and we'll see you on the next episode, which will be episode 26, with a continuation of customer management.